As always, I'm here to thank you for joining us today on our Sunday celebration here at our spiritual community. And while we're here talking for a little bit, make sure that you're going out and sharing this with everyone on social media, that they can join us here on YouTube. And while you're on YouTube, make sure that you also like, share, and hit that bell so you know when any video drops. As I said, I am in the process of reworking our weekday video so you have something during the week. And we can continue to have that spiritual nourishment all week. But for right now, we are concentrating on our Sunday celebration services as we set our goals to become a alternative ministry. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means that we're still under the umbrella of unity, but we are not a full ministry. This way, if somehow we continue to have a unity here in our area, then the alternative ministry is just going to help enhance what's already being done. If there is a decision not to continue with the unity here, then the alternative ministry, as we continue to grow, can also evolve into a bigger ministry and still do the work. But guess what? We're all doing the same work, and I'm so grateful for that. So, as always, building a ministry takes time, and we ask you for your help as you continue on. And if you wish to give in the form of monetary, you can go down to our website at the link below, or use the barcode there, or not the barcode, but the QR code on your phone if you wish to give. And we're so grateful for those who allowed us to continue to upgrade equipment and buy music and things like that my daughter has blessed you with. And with that being said, we continue to talk about being freedom in the flow and knowing what that means, as well as knowing how to continue to build our mindset. We today talk about a very important topic, so I hope you truly pay attention today and understand the words that we're speaking and we're teaching, because again, it's not about the words that I share with you, but the fact that you can take from that, put it into action for your own life, and get it going. And that's why I like to connect with you. And as always, if you wish to connect with us even further, again, you can go ahead and connect with us at this website. Go to the contact form, fill it out, choose something as question, prayer request, or you just want to give a testimony that our talk has helped you in some way, as well as if you wish to volunteer. And as I said, because we're online, a lot of things we need or do can be done in your bunny slippers from home. So feel free to reach out to us. And again, I'm grateful for everyone who has subscribed to our YouTube channel, who do plug in, whether it is live on Sundays or sometime during the week. And I thank those people as well, because I see the numbers sometimes that are live, and then I see the numbers increase as the week goes on. And we're all busy. And I also plug into a bunch of unities to watch their lessons that help me grow as well. So normally we don't do an opening prayer in the normal sense, but today what I want to do is actually take time to just affirm healing, wholeness, inner peace for all those people locally and nationwide that watch the show, but also for the families that were affected yesterday in the incident in Berwick, and that they are healthy and whole and they come through this with great healing. And for the person who did pass away, that their family is held in that inner peace and that healing for themselves, as well as for that safe transition, and that for the person who has gone. And again, gratitude for all the first responders and all the people who helped out in that time. So again, it's a local event that has happened, and we wanted to make sure that everyone is held up in prayer. So join me in affirming that for all of them. And we know it's already done, so we say it is and so it is, and we let it be. And we affirm this prayer and affirmation with an amen. So as always, again, grateful for you being here. Make sure you have your notebooks and pens ready to go. Stay tuned for the discussion questions at the end. And at this point, we're going to go right into that experience you know.
Good morning, everyone. It is said that the greatest prayer of all is just by saying thank you. So come with me, join me in saying thank you for this day. to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. 'Cause I'm so grateful. So grateful. Oh, grateful. I'm so grateful. I want to say thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. This beautiful, this beautiful, this beautiful day. Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Say thank you.
'Cause I'm so grateful.
So grateful.
So grateful.
So grateful.
Oh, so grateful.
So grateful.
I'm so grateful.
Grateful.
Thank you.
Say thank you.
I wanna say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
'Cause I'm so grateful.
Thank you. Thank you.
So grateful.
Grateful.
Oh,
Grateful.
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 So grateful.
Grateful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our daily word for today comes from August 4th, 2013, and our word is worthy. And our affirmation for today is I am worthy of my good. Once again, our affirmation for today is I am worthy of my good. And our prayer states that, like all people, I want a good life, loving relationships, rewarding work, and abiding peace. Yet these blessings may elude me until I awaken to my inherent worth. I am created in the image and likeness of God. My worth does not depend on my behaviors. I am intrinsically worthy because I am a living, loving, divine creature. When doubts arise, I remember the truth of my being. The good I seek is right where I am. The love I desire is the love of God already present. The work I long to do is Spirit's calling me within. As I stand in my own sacred worth, I feel the blessings of God infill me. I am worthy of my good. I expect the best, and I am ready to receive. And our biblical scripture to focus on is from Ruth 3:11. Now, my daughter, do not be afraid. I will do for you all that you ask, for all the assembly of my people know that you are a worthy woman. Let us take a few moments to contemplate on this word.
There's been a storm brewing inside of me, clouds moving around my heart. Something's changing that I can't see. I'm stuck in what I know is safe, but not yet where I'm supposed to feel the call of something more. I feel the call of something I've never felt before. I feel the call of something more. I feel the call, it's asking, what am I here for? 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 They say that pain pushes till the vision pulls. It feels like my safety nets have fallen down. I wish I had a map of where to go. I've got this feeling deep inside that nowhere where I know I feel the call of something more. I feel the call of something I've never done before. I feel the call of something more. I feel the call and it's asking, what am I here for? 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 Wanna make a move right now, though I don't know when or how. When I trust and know the truth, my heart will point the way. There is more of me to share, so today I do declare I will take that step in faith and let my light shine. I feel the call of something more. Feel the call of something I've never felt before. I feel the call of something more. I feel the call to be someone I've never been before. I feel the call of something more. I feel the call of something. What am I here for? 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 Just love. Just love. Just love. Up this morning. When I woke up this morning and I looked in the mirror, a voice came in my head pointing out each fear. She said, "You're fat, you're stupid, you're ugly. How did you get that way?" In that moment I had enough and I said, "No way, 'cause I'm good enough, good enough. Nothing here is missing. I gave myself permission to be good enough, good enough. I got the right stuff, good enough." All those wavy models in the magazines that I see every day, it looks a little tiny little breeze could just blow them away. But I'm a woman of substance, standing in my power. Right here, right now, I do declare that fuck's my finest hour. And I'm good enough, good enough. No longer wishing, I give myself permission to be good enough, good enough. I got the right stuff, good enough. Well, I'm no Cindy Crawford and I'm no Tyra Banks, but I got a body that's healthy and for that I give thanks. I don't have to be perfect, who I am is okay. I say it loud, I feel so proud, I stand up and say, oh, I'm good enough, good enough. I'm on a mission to give myself permission to be good enough, good enough. I got the right stuff. Oh, yeah, I'm good enough. Good enough. I'm on a mission to give everyone permission. Be good enough. Good enough. We got the right stuff. Good enough. Good enough.
Stand up and say,
Good enough. Good enough. Stand up and say, good enough.
stand up and say, I'm
Good enough.
good enough now.
Good enough. Good enough.
And say,
I'm good enough.
stand up and say, I'm good enough. I'm good enough.
So, again, you heard the questions what we're asking. So, just to reiterate, especially if this is your first time joining us, is that our series for the last 4 weeks, even though it's a summer series of success, has been freedom through flow. And what we want you to do again what is freedom through flow is that it's meant to having a consistent, regular, abundant flow of prosperity in and through our lives so that we have freedom to share our gifts with the world and the freedom to have, be, and do which makes our hearts sing, all of which are God ordained. So just one more time, because again, if you're new or you just want to hear it again, and it's good for repetition, we call it spaced repetition when we continue to hear it, is it means having a consistent, regular, abundant flow of prosperity in and through our lives so that we have the freedom to share our gifts with the world and the freedom to have, be, and do which makes our hearts sing, all of which are God ordained. And throughout this series, we've been talking about how if we ask the question, are we struggling in certain areas of our lives? Maybe we're struggling to make ends meet. Maybe, we're having issues paying rent. And we have that, especially after COVID. We have a lot of people struggling, still trying to rebuild. Prices are still sky high because people are trying to recoup those years during that time. We struggle to continue to do so. I took a chance leaving a technical job to work with our prayer ministry at Unity, even though I knew that there was a chance as working for a nonprofit, but I moved in faith because I know that when I have the freedom of the flow, I get to do what I feel well. And again, everyone has struggles, everyone has challenges, but knowing that you have a freedom through that flow to do what you want to do, you find the right answers. And that's what we've been working on. Okay? Just a reminder, as always, when we talk about prosperity, it tends to go into the mind, and immediately we talk about money. And we remember that quote by Sir Francis Bacon, who said, "The money is a great servant, but a bad master." But it is about remembering that we're not trying to take that money and make it our God or make master of what it is. And we do it all the time. The power that a dollar bill has over us when we are in a challenging state, we want to move out of that mindset. It is about having the mindset of the flow coming in, the abundance coming in, about being open to receive, about giving, being able to do the things you want to do. And that's what we're focusing on here. So the question today, as was stated in the bumper, is deep down, way inside of you, do you believe you deserve or are good enough, worthy enough, or whatever enough to have the freedom that a consistent, ongoing, abundant flow of good in your life offers? And as the bumper said as well, A quick way to answer that question: do you have enough money to share your gifts in the way you want to share them and to have, be, and do those things that make your heart sing? And if the answer is yes, give a great big jump and hooray, give your Superman pose, whatever it is, and be excited that believe that you deserve it. But if the answer is no, then we have work to do. And possibly that shift in mentality may cause you to really fall into that flow and know and open the door to that flow coming in. So I did this talk a while ago. So again, we look at $100 bill and we ask ourselves, what is this worth? Well, we can make all the jokes in the world about the dollar amount, but let's just take it literally. What is a $100 bill worth? What is its value? Well, we know that it's worth $100, right? But now, if I take this $100, crimple it up, throw it on the floor, step on it, and pick it up, what is it worth now? Well, guess what? It's still $100. So let's just say I want to tear it a little bit. I crinkle it up again. Maybe I spit on it. Maybe I throw it on the floor, and now I'm going to grind it into the ground, and I go to pick it up. Okay? It's dirty. It may be wet. But what is it worth? It's still $100. Okay? But let me get a new bill. And you may be working on yourself and you had some challenges in your life. So let's represent this $100 bill. But this time, we used the $100 bill. But it was used to bribe an official or politician. And in light of all the things going on, we used this $100 bill to buy a gun that eventually hurt somebody, possibly killed somebody. What if this $100 bill was rolled up for someone to use as a tool to do drugs, or even teach a child to do drugs? And as devastating as each one of those is, it's still worth $100. If I bet that this $100 could talk, it would tell us it isn't feeling worthy. Very deserving right now. I'm quite sure it would tell us that it feels dirty and broken and guilty, shameful, certainly not very valuable. I mean, look at the way this $100 bill looks right now. But yet, when we look at the truth of it, it is still worth $100. The value has not diminished in any way. It doesn't change. Deservingly, it's still worth $100. No matter what it's done, what it's used for, whatever, it is still $100. But the problem is, when we look at ourselves, we don't see that $100 as a true 100. We see ourselves as less than. We see ourselves as not deserving. We've had challenges. Maybe we've done things in the past that to most people would be detrimental or maybe unforgivable. Maybe we're battered and torn and broken down. And that could be physical pain, it could be emotional pain. But our value has never diminished other than what we think of ourselves. As a minister, as a spiritual coach, even as a Reiki practitioner and other things that I do, I still question my value sometimes. And I don't know what my worth is. And sometimes I do need outside validation. As someone who says, hey, Rev Rich, I heard your sermon. I loved it. You changed my life and it makes me feel better. But it shouldn't be that way, because it should be more important that I know my worth. And I'm telling you this not to impress you, but to impress upon you that the work has to be done personally for it to be successful. So with that being said, let's move into a story we all know. And as we do this, we talk about a lot of the new thought principles and beliefs. So here is from a book called The Thing Called You. And the affirmation is, God is right where I am. God is what I am. All that God has is mine now. I enter into conscious possession of this divine allness, this universal bounty, the perfect reality today, and I know that this is manifesting in my life. When we affirm and truly believe that within ourselves, we begin that motion that begins to take us to the worthiness belief of ourselves and what we're worth. So let's move into a teaching story, a story that most of you probably have heard. Perhaps the nuances of it have been lost in memory, and then we go look the rich answers of the innate deservability that it has to offer. And as you know, most of these stories come down and are changed over the years or kind of paraphrased, and they lose a lot of their intricacies. So what I want to talk about today is the story in the original way of the ugly duckling from Hans Christian Andersen. So, the old mother duck sighed. 6 eggs have hatched. She had a brood of 6 of the finest ducklings you would ever want to see, but the 7th egg refused to hatch. It was a bigger egg than the others had been. Perhaps it needed more time. So she settled herself on the nest once more and covered the 7th egg. She started to worry and asked, why won't my 7th egg hatch? She was really just beginning to think that she would have to leave this last egg, for her other 6 little ducklings were beginning to get too lively to be left alone any longer. At last, she heard the tapping sound from inside the egg, which told her that the 7th baby was about to be born. She stood aside and watched. All at once, the shell was shattered, and out popped a little head and a neck. Mother Duck gasped. This baby wasn't a bit like the other babies, like her other beautiful 6 yellow fluffy ducklings. It had a long neck, and its feathers were rather dirty colored. It was ugly. But still, it was Mother Duck's baby, so she fussed over it lovingly while its feathers dried out. Then she ushered it out in the sunshine to play with the other 6 brothers and sisters. Mother Duck gasped. The baby wasn't a bit like the other babies. But the ugly duckling waddled shyly toward them, but when she saw them coming, they all stopped quacking and started. Then they turned their backs and ran away. Mother Duck pretended not to notice this unkindness. Come, children, she called, time to learn to swim. Come along now. She led the way to the pond with all the little yellow ducklings following her in a line and the ugly duckling bringing up the rear. They all splashed around in the water, all of them. The ugly duckling swam the best, which didn't please the others at all. He tried to join in their games, but they swam away from him just because he looked different, so different from them. He was so ugly. At the end of the day, he was very sad and lonely little duckling. At the end of the week, he still felt worse. Nobody wanted him apart from his mother, who bravely tried to act as if there was no different from the others. His mother was the only friend he had, and he loved her dearly. Then there came a day when he tried to be friendly to an old duck who promptly attacked him. Of course, his mother flew to his rescue, and the old duck pecked her cruelly before she fled for shelter. The ugly duckling was dreadfully upset. All because of him, his dear mother was hurt. Nobody wanted him, and now because of him, they were turning upon her too. By now, he was growing big and strong, even if he was so ugly, and he managed to find to, enough to eat. But still, nobody would have anything to do with him, and if he saw any other creatures coming, he would hide until they passed. One day, he hid among the reeds at the lakeside far from his home. A flock of swans swam by. He thought, they are the most beautiful creatures I've ever seen. How wonderful it would be to be like them. He shed a tear in the water. The winter came, the cold and the rain. He had a very hard time indeed with no shelter from the cruel weather, but somehow he managed on his own until spring came. At least, it was good enough till then. It was so lovely when spring came, and he was glad to be alive even though he was so lonely. One fine morning he was swimming out on the lake when a voice behind him said, "Hello, friend." He turned around quickly and there were swans. "Hello," he said. "We're pleased to see you," they said. They were actually friendly to him. He couldn't believe it. Then one of them said, "Why are you alone? Why don't you swim with us?" "May I? May I really?" he stammered. "Why not?" came the reply. "You're a swan, aren't you?" Then he looked down at his reflection in the water and was amazed. He really was a swan. "Why not?" came the reply. You're a swan." During the winter, all of his drab feathers had fallen away, and he was shiny white, a graceful swan. So he swam away with the other swans, and he lived happily ever after. The hero of our story initially thought to himself, I must be like everyone else, and to fit in order to be worthy, fill in the blanks in our story of love and acceptance. So he tried to be like his brothers and sisters. He accepted and believed their criticism and endlessly tried to please them. He basically said to them, "You think I'm ugly? I agree. If you say I'm not a good swimmer because I swim faster than you, then I'll swim slower. I'm going to be like you in every way I possibly can, and I'm going to accept your criticism and your opinion of me." But of course, ultimately, that didn't work very well, did it? To illustrate what can happen when we accept and believe other criticism and endlessly try to please them, here's another story. There was an old man, a young boy, and a donkey. They were walking to town. They decided that the young boy should ride the donkey. As they went along, they passed some people who criticized them, exclaiming that it was a shame for an able-bodied boy to ride while the old man walked. The man and the boy decided that maybe the critics were right, so they changed positions. The old man got on the donkey and the boy walked. Later, they passed some more people who exclaimed that it was a real shame for them that the man to make such a small boy walk. So the two decided that maybe they should both walk. Soon they passed some people who criticized them that says it was stupid to walk when they had a donkey to ride. The man and the boy decided that maybe the critics were right once again, so they decided they both should ride. They soon met other people who exclaimed that it was cruel to put such a load on a poor little animal. The old man and the boy decided that maybe the critics were right, so they get off and carry the donkey. As they crossed the bridge, they lost their grip on the animal and it fell in the river and drowned. The moral of the story is if you live your life listening to the critics, you will eventually lose your donkey. As funny as it sounds, it's truly the way we live our lives. We spend so much time listening to the media tell us how we're supposed to live, the products we use. I mean, I made a joke recently, but it is true. I was watching the Dove commercial where it is a program they're running to build the self-esteem in young girls, but they were doing a quick shot of, and I've never heard of baby Botox in my life. You know, so when you're teaching a child from such a young age that the looks are important, the way you work, the way you talk, the way you are important. And I think I've said this many a times. Passing a church on the way home from Unity one time, I remember seeing a church bulletin on their church sign that said, "Remember, parents are the instruction manual for your child's life." So we want to make sure that we're helping people understand that there's going to be critics. People are going to criticize everything, no matter what you try to do, because it makes them feel better. If I can tear you down, then the hurt and the anguish I feel within me will give me a chance to not think about it, because I'm making you think that you're less than worthy. I was talking to someone for this exact example, and I said, I love Jim Rohn, who was a business mentor, who always says when people told him stuff, he always said, "That's interesting." And he let it go. So it takes courage to rise out of the old habit, thoughts, and concepts about yourself. You are already a swan. If you don't believe it, the ducklings are actually not outside of you any longer. They are in you. And they are those little thoughts that they dislike you. You know, we talk about the story of Jesus in the desert, and he talks about the adversary. And when we look at the story from a parable point of view, the adversary was really what was inside of him. He was hungry. So they were telling him, well, you have power, change these stones to bread. But he held on to his conviction. And it's the same thing with us. When we look at the $100 bill, the value never changed, no matter what was going on. Our value never changes as long as we stick to our values, no matter who's the critic in our life. It takes courage to be like the swan, to believe in yourself, but you can make a choice. And it's because the one who is in you is greater than the one who is in the world. And of course, that's 1 John 4:4. And I want to repeat that because it's truly very important that you understand that divine spark within you contains all that you need and all that you are, and you just need to open up and release that. And it's because the one who is in you is greater than the one who is in the world. In conscious partnership with God, you can have the courage to do all things. So here are some words to help you move on. So the power of God is my power. The strength of God is my strength. The presence of God is my presence. The mind of God is my mind. And the freedom of God is my freedom. So here's the swan's list to freedom. Give yourself permission to be you. Unique, special, divine. Realize you have been created by God to do something special, unique, even if you haven't hatched fully out of your own shell yet. You've heard this from me before. I am a true believer that we are all born with an individualized gift. That is my purpose to give you that gift from me, and it is my responsibility to be open to receive that gift from you. So when you ever think unworthiness that people don't need, it's something I have to remind myself constantly, is understand that I've been given a divine gift that I need to inspire the world with. And I am supposed to be open enough to learn from the teachers that come into my life. And for those teachers, I thank you today. And I'm grateful for you today, allowing me to grow. And I know there's many teachers I still need to meet. And I hope that in my growing, I can continue to share my gift. Give yourself permission to be you. Realize you've been created by God to do something special, unique, even if you haven't hatched fully out of your shell yet. Refuse to focus on the limitations of your self-concept, but rather focus on God's concept of you. What is that little joke? If God had a refrigerator, your picture would be up on it. If your dream gets knocked down, let God reconstruct it right in front of your eyes. And if you ever get put down, you put God up. Again, some encouraging words. The Spirit never rejects me, so I accept myself. I know there is nothing in me that can condemn or be condemned. There is nothing in me that judge or can be judged. I realize my center in the divine mind. I know what I am and all the good there is. I am one with all the power there is. I am one with all the peace there is. And so, our question this morning, do you really deserve to have the freedom of the flow? And the answer is absolutely yes. And when you embrace the swan list to freedom, we will have exactly that. When you truly put these steps, and these are in your discussion as your action steps, I purposely did no other action steps, but copy these over to remind you that when we put this into action, when we do the work, as Dr. Johnny Coleman always said, it works if you work it. It's not enough to sit here and listen to me. It is not enough to know the truth that you are. You have to live that truth. Nothing will be expressed if we don't do the work to get there. So, from the words as we conclude this talk today, from the words of Eric Butterworth from the book Spiritual Economics, let go of the feeling of unworthiness, attitudes that have such a detrimental influence upon the human consciousness. Claim your entitlement. I am a child of the universe, endowed with the fullness of all God, a child of the universe. Can you get into your consciousness? Not just the offspring of your parents or the product of the times, but a child of the universe. You are an expression of the infinite overflow, entitled to as a constant support as the lilies in the field. These words of truth, embrace them, understand them. Get the book, highlight that, put it up on a wall, and remind yourself of this every time you feel unworthy. You want to believe them, you want to live them. Who may have thought that you were an ugly duckling but are really a swan? Will give yourself the gift of great deal of freedom through the flow. So to help you remind this, the person that I read this from has the acronym SWAN, SWAN, someone worthy of abundance now. So you being a swan is someone worthy of abundance now. So with that being said, I hope you really got something out of these last 4 weeks. I hope you truly take the work and put it into place. Because it is in that work that we change consciously. We change physically. Because it is through a conscious effort of changing it and the ideas born in our head that we can finally see ourselves. I've been right down that road with you with self-unworthiness and feeling that unworthiness. And I've had to work with myself using various tools to bring myself to who I am today. And even the person I am today has a lot of work to do. And as Reverend Diane used to always say, I'm still here, so obviously there's work for me to be done. So with that, let's go ahead and close out with prayer in the form of affirmations. God is right where I am. God is what I am. The Spirit never rejects me, so I accept myself. I know there is nothing in me that can condemn or be condemned. There is nothing in me that can judge or be judged. I realize my center in the divine mind. I know that I am one with all the good there is. All that God has is mine. Now, I enter into the conscious possession of this divine allness, this universal bounty, this perfect reality today. I know that it is manifesting in my life. The power of God is my power. The strength of God is my strength. The presence of God is my presence. The mind of God is my mind. And the freedom of God is my freedom. And I let it go because I say it is, and so it is, and I let it be. And we affirm this prayer with amen.
People try to tell me who I'm supposed to be, but Now I know the truth, and that truth has set me free. The media tries to tell me each and every day how to look, how to act, how to feel and what to say. But I have the secret I've known since birth. Say I'm whole and complete and I know what I'm worth. They can tell me I'm lazy, tell me I'm fat. I can give them power, but I'm no better than that. I'm a child of love here on this earth. Whole and I'm complete, and I know what I'm worth. I know what I'm worth when push comes to shove. I know what I'm worth. I'm a beacon of love. I know what I'm worth. I'm an angel of light, shining, shining, shining so bright. I'm worthy. I'm worthy. I'm worthy. I would compare myself to everyone I'd see. I didn't know the power in me. But when I need a shot of self-worth, I say, whole and not complete, and I know what I'm worth. I say no to anyone who tries to judge me. No. I say yes to my own divinity. This is the new way of being, feels like rebirth. Whole and I'm complete, and I know what I'm worth. Know what I'm worth when push comes to shove. Know what I'm worth, beacon of love. Know what I'm worth, I'm an angel of light, shining, shining, shining so bright. I'm worthy. I'm worthy. I'm worthy.
Worthy. Worthy.
I know what I'm worth, I know what I'm worth, I know it, know it, know it. I know what I'm worth, I know what I'm worth, I know it, know it, know it. I know what I'm worth, I know what I'm worth, I know it, know it, know it. I know what I'm worth, I know what I'm worth. I know what I'm worth when push comes to shove. I know what I'm worth, I'm a beacon of love. I know what I'm worth, I'm an angel of light, shining, shining, shining so bright. I'm worthy. I'm worthy. I'm worthy. Don't tell me I'm not enough. I'm fabulous. I strut my stuff. I claim a power for all to see. I'm a woman I was meant to be. I'm worthy.
I'm worthy.
I'm worthy.
I'm worthy.
I know what I'm worth. I know what I'm worth. I know it. Know it. Know it.
Know what I'm worth. I know what I'm worth. I know it. Know it. Know it.
I know what I'm worth. I know what I'm worth. I know it. Know it. Know it. I know what I'm worth. I know what I'm worth. I know.
As always, I am so grateful for the music. I hope you enjoyed it. I was dancing along with it as I was listening to it. I took in the message, I am worthy. I hope you took that same message in for yourself, because I see you as worthy. So do the people around you, whether you want to believe it or not. But the most important person is that you see your worth. I am challenged with it, and I know the struggles, but as I always say, I never said it was going to be easy, but it is worth it. So with that being said, I want to give you a chance during our service now to give, whether it is to us or to your spiritual community that you're attending. And again, it's all about giving for the good works that every spiritual community does, as well as we do, and to continue to evolve these messages so that you are becoming that light for someone else. So as always, for us, the information's at the bottom of the screen as you can give to us. And as we continue to move toward an evolving alternative ministry, we want to make sure that this practice is in place because it's very important, even for myself and for everyone else. So I want you to take your gift in your hand, whether you've already done it or you're planning to do it or it's on the computer or even physical. Keep it in your hand, place it near your heart. And what I get to do today is I am so grateful that I work with Reverend Thomas Thorpe, who, again, his name has been synonymous with unity forever. In fact, I took one of the classes virtually with him when I first started my trail or my journey to minister. And I'm so grateful to have the chance to talk with him on a daily basis as I work. But he rewrote the blessing in a way that works so well with our talk today. So that'll be at the bottom of the screen. So again, our thing today is divine love through me and as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and my awareness of all that I am. So we see that gift going out and multiplying and doing the work that it's done, and we say it is and so it is, and we let it be. So I am so grateful for you today. Let us take another unity tradition as we end our service today with the prayer of protection. Stay tuned for your discussion questions and your action steps. And know as always that I love you and there's nothing you can do about it. We will see you on the next episode. But before we go out, join me in saying, the light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me. The presence of God watches over me. And wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time.